and say,
Hi dear
hey, I
students,
added it,
how are you? I hope you are
and
all
verify the
doing
domain.
well.
I
Today in
actually
this
have another
lecture we're
method
going
that
to
I think
talk
is a lot
about
easier,
how
especially
to
depending
use
on what
the basic existing functions
themes
that
you're
we're
using. If you're
gonna
not using a Genesis framework, there is a way to
built
do it with
in
meta tag, but it puts you in your
Excel,
functions
Microsoft
PHP file,
Excel.
and I find
I can
that
see him right
if you're
here,
not familiar with what you're doing, that's a
and I'm
pretty
going to
easy way to
explain
mess
it
up
in
your
this
site.
example as
So I
well.
would actually suggest
Also, I'm going to show you
that
how
you come
to
down and
write
you
a
upload
simple
HTML
formula
file. I really
about the
think this is
arithmetic
a pretty
operations, the
underrated,
basic
overlooked way
arithmetic
of doing
operations,
this.
which is plus,
So I want to show you
minus,
how because I
subtract,
think it's the
mean,
easiest.
add,
So you
summation,
select that from Choose Different Method. You're
subtraction,
going to download the
multiplication,
file. It's
division,
going to download
and
it to your
the
computer.
power as well.
You're going to go
All
into
this
your
will gonna
cPanel.
be in
So
this
you usually
lecture
access
today.
this
I
through
hope
your
it's gonna be
hosting, or you can
so
access it through
useful for you.
yourdomain.com
Please pay
backslash
attention
cPanel.
and watch the
And
video
then you
to
should
the
have
end
login information provided by your
to
hosting company to get into here.
gain more knowledge
So then you're going to go
about
into your file manager here
these formula, simple formula, and function
and
in
into
Excel.
public HTML. And then
Now what we're gonna
yours may
do is
differ
I'm gonna start
depending
with this
on how many
example
websites you have in your
and
hosting.
show
Make
show
sure you
you how
select
we're
for
gonna use
the folder for
the
the domain
basic
that you're setting up
existing
currently.
functions
So this one's
here
easy
in
peasy. We are
Excel,
setting up
Microsoft Excel.
the one that is the base.
If
So
we're
in
going to
this
see
public
this
HTML, you can
example,
see I have my WP admin, WP
this is
content, WP
a
includes.
basic
That's how you know you're in the right
example,
place.
basic
We're just
table
going to come
that
over
we
here. We're going to click on
always use
upload.
for our example.
We're going to
Every
select
time
the
it's
file.
different, but basically I have
And it's this Google
the
HTML
number,
file we just
the
downloaded.
name,
We're going to
and the
open.
marks. These are the
It
basic
says it's
things
done, so I'm going to go
in
back to that
my table
folder,
for
and you can see
examples.
that it's
The
right
other
here.
things I'm going to change
And then
here
come back
to do
and
more
hey, I
examples
downloaded it.
about it.
Hey, I uploaded it.
And we're going to see
And
lecture after
it
lecture
actually
how
tells
this
you very
table will be
specifically
expanded.
how to get it where you need it to be
Now,
and how to confirm that it was there.
what
So if you need
is
those really
the
specific instructions, it
basic
has them for you.
existing functions?
So I've
Sometimes
downloaded the
in
file.
Excel, we
And
don't need a
then I
complex
have,
formula or a complex
okay, so
function.
now it's,
So,
instead of going ahead and
or
verifying it with us, to
sometimes
go ahead and do our MX records.
we always
So
use
this is also going to be
frequently
done through
some
cPanel.
basic
So
functions. So
we're going to
Excel, what
follow
did
him to
Excel
open.
do here?
So in
Microsoft in
cPanel,
Excel, they
now we're
put
going to
an
change
existing
the
functions
MX records.
right
So
here
this
in
is
the
what
Home tab
routes any email coming in that would
and telling
normally
us
go
that
to our server
these
where our
are
site
the
is
most
hosted.
frequently
MX records
used
are going to reroute any
functions
of those emails
in
over to
Excel.
the Gmail servers,
So
the
you
Google
don't need to
servers, so
write
that your email goes to the
a
correct
formula,
place.
just select it
So under
and it's gonna
cPanel, we're going
be
to come down here into
ready to
domains
use.
and
So if you
the
want to
zone
do a
editor, DNS
summation
zone editor.
directly, you don't need to write a formula for that.
And then
Average,
we
count
only have one
numbers, max
domain on the
number, and min
cPanel,
number.
so it's really
All these are
easy. We're
existing
going to come
in
in here to
Excel
add MX
function.
record.
But how do we use it? Now for this example, I
I like to
have a
come into
number of
manage
students, the name
first,
of the
because what we
students,
need to do is we
mark
actually
1,
need to
it's out
delete
of 10,
the
maybe it's
original
activity,
MX
maybe
record,
it's quizzes.
and we can filter
Mark
so it
2,
only shows us MX
it's
records. I
out
highly
of
recommend that so you don't
10 as
accidentally
well,
delete something else
and
you
this
did.
one will
So we
be
already have this MX record. So it's telling the mail exchanger to go ahead and send
maybe
them
for
to
absence or
the server.
activity reports
But
or
we don't need that
whatever.
anymore.
So
And
this
if
is
you're over
from
here, it
20.
will
Now
tell you.
this one is
It's going to walk you through
out
this
of
step by step.
30,
Okay, I
and
want
we're
you to
gonna say
go
like this is the midterm
into your
exam.
control panel
Now
and
what
find your
else
DNS
do we
settings.
have?
Okay, I've
I
opened the
need
control panel for
to
by login.
calculate the
Yes.
summation
It
for
wants you
these
to
3
delete
marks.
any
I
existing
need to
MX
calculate
records.
the average for
So
these
in this
3
case, you just
marks,
opened
the
delete
min
any existing MX
mark
records for the
for
nomadic
every student,
English.com. So that's what we have
and
here.
the
This is
max
an
mark
existing
for every
MX record.
student.
We are just going to
Above that,
delete it.
I
Yes,
need
we want to
more.
delete it.
Moreover,
And now
I
that
need
one's
to
gone.
calculate
So we're going to come back down
how
here.
many numbers
Check
do I
that
have
off.
in my
And now it's
table.
telling you,
If
okay,
I
we're going to
select the
create a
table and
bunch of
count
new
numbers,
MX
it's
records.
going to tell me that in this table you
So the
have
things that are important
20
to have
cells
from here,
as
you want
example,
to
20
copy the
cells
value
that
destination,
contains
and you want to make sure there's
numbers.
no
So
leading or
maybe
ending
it's
spaces.
useful
Copy
for
only
some
the
kind of
letters, and you
examples.
need to know the
So we're gonna
priority number. So
use it right
priority 1.
here. Now I have
And
here
then
in
we're
this
going to
table
click up
7
here. We are going
students:
to
Hind,
add
Laith,
record,
Lara,
and
Omar,
we
Tim,
add an
Aram,
MX
Jagar.
record.
Everyone
So it's
has
already got the
his
name for
own
us. It's
marks.
got the
Everyone has
TTL.
his own
It's already selected
marks.
MX record. So if you just click
Okay,
that, if you didn't click the arrow,
so
you may need
let's
to
say
set this to
it had
MX.
5 here.
We know the
Well, 0.
priority for this one is 1. And then we are
We're
going to
gonna do it like
paste the
this,
destination here
and here
and add the
1 and
record. And then
1.
we're going to
Why we're
repeat
not gonna give
this
0
for
for a
each
student.
of the other ones that are here. So there are
Okay,
5
so I'm
total.
gonna do the sum. Instead of writing a formula every time, so I'm gonna go for what? I'm gonna go for the
I'm going to show
existing
you. If you
basic
just
function.
hit add record,
So here,
it's automatically
first of all, I
not
need
going
to
to have a
select
valid
the
zone
cell.
name,
Where do I
and
want
it's automatically
the
going to set this
result
to A.
to be
So
shown?
it's a
In
lot
this
quicker
cell?
to
Okay,
just
in
drop
this
that
cell.
down
So
and
select
compare
the
MX
cell,
records.
go to this
Yes,
arrow
this
drop
one is
list
another
and sum.
135.
Because sum, I want sum. And what do I need to do now? Select the cells
We have
that
2
I
for
want to
reasons.
add. Select the cells that I want to add. So I want to add Mark 1, Mark 2, and midterm. After that, just press enter. It's
And then
very,
all I'm
very easy.
doing is looking at
Now
the
I'm going to go
priority
for
number
drag
here,
autofill
and then copying
and select
the
to
value
the bottom.
destination,
In Excel, this is a good
and
feature
then
that
pasting
will
them over here.
facilitate our
Okay,
use.
so now
It's
all
going to be more
5
faster and
of these records
accurate.
have been added.
You're not gonna need to write a
So we have the
formula for
1-5
everyone. Just
priority,
select the
or
first one
the 1-1
and
priority, the
drag.
2-5 priorities, and
Now
the
this is
2-10 priorities.
about
So everything
submission.
here is done.
Now what do I need for
And
average? If I
then
want to
we're going to go
calculate the
back,
average for
and
Mark 1, Mark 2,
it
Mark
wants
3,
us to
what is the
check. Hey,
average?
would like the
So this is the
TTL set to
average here. Select, I
3600
want the
seconds,
result
which is
here.
1 hour.
Go to your drop
So
list, select
we're going to
average,
edit
and
these.
Mark 1,
And
Mark 2, and Mark 3.
ours actually
Press
won't let us
enter.
edit that, and
Same
that's fine.
as the
If you
submission.
can,
Not a difference.
that's great. If not, it's
Just to
fine to
drag.
leave
If
it
you want a decimal,
where it
leave it like
is.
this.
It's
If you
not a big
don't
deal. If
want,
you
you can
can't edit
increase
them, it would like
decimals
you to edit to
or
3600.
decrease
Not a big deal if it's not.
decimals. Make
We
it
did
like
not
this.
need the name host
Now,
alias
what is the min
line,
number?
which is fine.
I want the
If
less
you are using a
mark
different
that this
setup
student
and you
had.
need that,
So here, Hind
it's just
has
the
the
@
less
symbol. It's super
mark
easy.
8. Tim has
If
the
by
less mark
chance your
7.
host limits the number of MX records
Jagger
you can
has the
add,
less mark
just start from the
4.
top and add,
So
so it
this
won't
is
let
the
you add
minimum.
anymore.
So
And if by chance
select
whoever
the
you're using
cell.
will allow you to
All of them are the
substitute
same
without
thing.
entering the
Go
MX
to
record, some of them
min
have it
and
preset
select
because these
mark
are always
1,
the
2,
same. They don't
3.
change depending
Because
on
I
your
want
account.
only
So
3
some hosts may have it where you
marks.
can just
So I'm
easily
going to see
like
it's
check a
8.
box that you're going to G
You
Suite.
can
If
drag
so, by
or
all
double
means
click,
use that.
just like
So
this.
we have created the new MX records, which is
Now
awesome,
about the
and now we
max,
just
it's
need
the
to
same
save them.
thing. The
Since we're
maximum
doing this
number,
through
just
cPanel, there's
click on
actually no
max,
saving.
select
It's
1, 2,
automatically
3,
saved. So
press
I
enter,
just like to click back out to the
and
main page, click back into
drag
DNS Zone
to the bottom.
Editor,
This is how we're going to use the
go back into Manage,
Excel
and then you can
existing
scroll
basic
down. Your newest
functions.
ones are always at the bottom.
Now,
So I'm just
why do
scrolling
we
down and
call it
making sure that
existing
those are
basic
showing
functions?
up and that there's
Because
no other MX records.
you
And so we
can,
can again
you
filter,
don't need to use it
make sure
all
they're
the
there,
time.
everything looks
Sometimes,
good.
like,
Come back over and tell it
just
I
select
saved the
these
MX
3.
records. And now we're going to
Okay,
verify the
if you're going
domain
to
instead
go
of our
to the
email.
bottom here and the status
So it's going to
bar,
take just a
you're
minute
going
while
to
it
see that
verifies.
Excel will
So it's
give
going
us
back and it's checking for
directly
that
the
HTML file
sum,
that we uploaded to the
count,
file
and
editor earlier, or
average.
it's checking for the meta tag if
That's
we
why they are
upload.
basic. You don't need
Takes
even to write a
just a second.
formula. You don't need to use this one. Because Excel, if you just
Alright,
select these
so we
3,
actually got a
you're
bit
going
of
to
an
see
error here.
here
It
that
said,
sum is
hey, that
44,
took longer than we
counts is
expected.
3 numbers I
So it's
have,
saying we were unable
and
to
the
verify
average
the
is
domain and select the email,
14.666,
or
which
it's
is
taking longer.
this one
So it took a little bit longer.
without
Now it's come back. If
decimals,
it does kick back and say we
like
couldn't
this.
verify, you're going
Okay,
to want to go back to the
that's why
verification step and select a
these
different
are
method. So if you did
existing
it through
basic
Meta
functions.
and it didn't
Very easy
work,
to
you're going to want to go
explain.
back and try the
Now, what is the
HTML. If
count
you did it
numbers?
through
I'm going to go
HTML
for
and didn't
count
work, you're going to want to
numbers.
go back and try the Meta or one of the other
And
options that
same
were
thing,
there.
just count numbers.
So ours just took a little bit longer.
How many
but it
cells do you
looks
want to
good.
calculate? Let's say all the
Everything
table.
is verified. Everything is complete.
Press
So we're going to
enter.
go ahead and
I
hit
have
next.
56 cells
And
that
now it's going to give you
contains
some options.
numbers.
So
This
in
is
this
about
case, it's asking if you
how
want to
to
do G
use
Suite
the
Business for
basic
$10 a
existing
user a month,
functions in
which most of
Excel.
you won't
It's
need unless
very
you have a larger
easy. Now I'm
team.
going to go for the
You can
other
probably just get away with G Suite Basic. It's unlikely you're going to need
example,
enterprise.
which is what?
So we're going to
How
choose
to
G Suite
write
Basic, which
a
is $5
simple
per user per
formula.
month.
Now we're going to go for a formula.
I'm just going to
How to
select
write a
choose.
simple formula for what? For these basic arithmetic
And then
operations, which is
everything looks good. We only need one user. If you added
addition,
other users during
add
the
or
setup
submission,
process, it will
sorry,
automatically fill that. It's going to tell you
subtract, multiplication,
what
division,
your
and
estimated
power.
monthly charge
How
is
do
and
we
the date
use
that it's going to
this one?
start.
Of course, we don't have
And so that's
a
14 days out
basic
from today. So we are going to hit
existing
continue.
function for them. That's why we need
I'm
to
going to say read
write
and agreed.
a
Of course, you can
simple
click right
formula.
there.
And
You
to
need to
write
actually read it.
a formula, we need to
You
start
have to
with
click right there. It won't let you click the buttons.
the symbol
So of course you have all
equal.
this. Then you can come back and check it.
Start
And then we're going to hit continue.
for
It, of course, does want payment information.
You need to type.
Once you've filled out your payment information, it's going to send you over here and tell you that you're now subscribed. And it will tell you that you're going to be charged in the first week of every month for the previous month's bill. And so,
now
like
this
in this
one
case,
is very
I happen to time this
important.
just right to where we actually aren't going to start
pay
being charged
attention
until
for
the
it.
31st. So my first bill will be pretty much nothing because we're using our 2 weeks free for the end of the month. But if you're starting it early in the month, if your trial ends early in the month, you'll have like a prorated bill the first time. Same thing if you add new users and it's in the middle of a billing period.
This is very, very, very important.
So we're going to click continue.
Excel will know that this is a formula if you're going to write the
that
equal
integrate really
sign.
well with G
You're
Suite,
going to write
and I actually use two of these. I do use Asana,
sign, or
Asana,
let's make
and I
it
do use
sign.
Zero, but we're not going to
You're
get
going to
into
write
that
the
right now.
equal
So I'm going to
sign.
advise you
Without
for this
that,
part just to
you
skip.
cannot do anything. So you cannot add. This is wrong. It's not going to do an operation.
All right, and
but
now it's taking you
if you
to
go
your
for
billing page. So this is where you would come in to change any
plus
of your
30,
billing information.
You're going to see
we're going to go look at
57. That means you're going to tell Excel that
so I've
I'm
taken
going to
us
write
back to the
a
home
formula.
page of the admin console.
So the first thing
where
we
you log in to
need
deal with
is
any of your
writing
users, your billing,
or
anything
type
like
or
that.
insert the
If
equal
you need
sign.
to add
I'm
another
telling Excel
domain
now I'm going to
by
write a
chance, you
formula.
can do so
And
by
as I
going
said,
here,
these
and it
are a
will walk you
simple
again through the same
formula. They're not
verification and
complex,
MX record
complicated.
steps that we went through for our primary domain.
It's going to be very
So
easy for you.
I won't be doing this for this
Now,
account, but
I
for
want
the
to
main
add
account that I
these
use,
3
my
marks.
master email is
So I'm going to go for equal.
hello@cooperativeCreative.com.
Click,
Within that
because we're going to use the cell
Google account,
reference.
within that G Suite
Don't
account,
use
I
numbers.
also have
Don't
my
write
other email addresses,
9.
which are
This one is wrong because it's not going to be
I
dynamic.
have my
I'm going to use Excel to make it
emails.
dynamic.
I have
And what does that mean? I'm going to show
I
you
have
later.
bigfamilyminimalist.com.
So go for
I have
cell
a variety of
reference
domains that all filter
plus
into the same
click
inboxes.
and
So
plus
each one of those
this
domains
cell.
I have attached
Press
to that.
enter,
So I've added
and you're
them
going to
here
see
in use
that
domains,
this number is
which you can kind of see.
44. As I said, you just need
It'll
to
give you a list
drag. Why did I tell you
which
use
domains
cell
you have.
reference?
So I have
Now, if I'm going to
already
change
10
this one,
domains in my
I'm going to
regular
give
one that are each I've gone through
Omar,
that verification
or I'm going to
and
give
setting up
Tim
MX records
here
for
an
each one of
extra
those
mark.
domains. So we've already
Let's
done
make
that
it
process
10.
to add a new
If
domain.
I'm going to change, look, now he's 40.
Through it
I'm going to make it 10.
as many
It's going to
times
be
as you need to.
43.
So
But
you can add more
if
domains.
I'm going to write
But what I want to look at right now is users and aliases.
like
So
this,
in this case, we only have
9
the one user. We just have mine.
plus
we're going to go in and
8
we're not renaming.
plus
So
27
you're
going to
just
be
going to click on the name.
44. But if I'm going to
It's going
give
to take you
extra
into
mark
that user
or
profile. So in this case, we're going to look at
subtract 2
aliases.
marks
And so this
maybe,
just gives you a snapshot.
or make this one
How
extra
much is being
mark,
billed?
it's going to
If you've got
be
a larger
44.
organization
And this is
multiple
very
companies,
important.
multiple brands,
If you're going to go
you
for,
may
you're
end
an
up needing to
accountant, you
use
need
more of the organization and groups
any
and that kind of thing within your users. But for most of us, we're going to keep this really nice and simple.
cent. You
So I'm
need
going to
any
click on
cent to
account.
be calculated. This is very important
And
for
then
you. So
we
please
want to set
don't
up a couple
write.
things. So I advise you to set up a Google Plus profile if this is your first one. So for me, this is a multiple, and I have a different Google Plus profile
Okay,
that
so
I'm
please
using
don't write
just to kind of streamline everything. But if this is your
this one
main
like this.
email, go
You
ahead and
need
set
to
up
write
that G Plus
the
profile.
formula
If you need to
direct
reset anybody's password, you
with
can do
cell
that through
reference.
right here, or you can just click this and
Now,
make them change their
subtraction is the
password.
same thing.
Force
Just
them to change their password when they sign
click,
back in.
subtract, subtract, subtract,
We're looking at
and
aliases.
keep on
So I
going.
mentioned earlier
Just double
that you can have hello at,
click on it.
info at, name
Now
at,
here
all of these
is
that flow
equal.
into one
I want to
single
multiply.
inbox.
So just
So for
multiply
now, right now
this
it's showing,
one with
okay,
this
hey, you
one.
already
If
have
I
hello
need
at.
2 marks,
So our
it
main
doesn't
email is
matter.
hello at. This is
Just
an alias
like
that is
this.
a
This will
temporary
be the
test
formula.
that they use while you're setting it up.
And
So
subtract,
there's nothing to do with that.
division,
But
same
let's
thing.
say I definitely
Divide
want to have
this one
Danny at the
by this one.
nomadicentrepreneurers.com because
If I
that's
have
more
more,
personal
if I
and kind of
want
easier
more,
to
it
hand
doesn't
out to
matter
some
as
people.
well.
Makes it just seem a
Just
little
like
bit
this.
friendlier.
Sorry, I said.
So I'm going to type in Danny at and hit save, and it will refresh the page.
5.
Okay, so now it's
If I
showing
want to
temporary email
decrease
address
the
and the name of
decimals,
that.
just go like
Now,
this.
if you have multiple domains set up and verified, you'll actually have a
At least
drop-down
make
menu
it
here.
1.
You'll have like a little arrow,
Like
and so
this.
you can
Okay?
select for whatever other
Now, what
domain
is the
you have.
power?
So you
I
can
want
have
the power
6
for
different domains
3 and
and set them
2,
all up
so
as
I'm gonna
aliases.
go
So when you're
for
logging into your
equal.
account
This
to read
one,
your
the
email, you're
power
just
is
logging into
shift
this one.
and
All
number
of the emails
6.
from all of these email addresses will flow into that one
This
inbox.
press
So right
enter,
now, let's see,
it's
we have
9.
hello at
This is
Daniel
all about
to info at,
how to write a simple formula for the basic arithmetic operations.
and
If you
then
have
I like to
any
write
questions,
at.
don't hesitate to contact
So
me.
now I
I
have
am
these
here
different
all the time
aliases.
to answer
And
your
some of you are like,
questions.
why?
Thanks
Just keep
very
it
much
simple.
and
And
see
for
you
me,
in
this
next
actually does